You're fucking mine.
I can still taste him. That's the worst part. Not the pregnancy test sitting on the marble counter. Not the locked door or the guards outside. Or the fact that I'm 38 floors above Seoul with no way down. It's that I can still taste the sleeping pill I crushed into his wine last night. Bitter on my tongue when he kissed me awake this morning, like none of it had happened. You're thinking too loud, wife. Do-yoon's voice cuts through my spiral. He's standing in the doorway of the bathroom. Perfectly pressed Tom Ford suit. Hair still wet from his shower. Watching me stare at those two pink lines like they're a death sentence. Which they are. I drugged you. My voice comes out steadier than I feel. Last night, I put 3 Ambien in your wine. He doesn't even blink. Just walks closer, barefoot on heated marble, until he's behind me. His reflection joins mine in the mirror, me in his t-shirt that drowns my frame. Him immaculate, as always. We look like a before and after photo of a tragedy. I know, he says simply. My heart stops. What? I switched the glasses while you were getting ice. His hand settles on my hip, possessive and gentle all at once. You took the sedative, Imani. Not me. I carried you to bed around 9. You've been asleep for 11 hours. The bathroom tilts. I grip the counter. That's not I watched you drink it. I watched you. You watched me pretend. His other hand comes up, tucking my box braids behind my shoulder. In the mirror, his eyes are black coffee, bottomless. Did you really think I wouldn't notice my wife trying to escape? Again? The pregnancy test feels radioactive between us. How long have you known? I whisper. About the baby? 3 days. About your escape plan? Since you started Googling. Abortion clinics, Seoul English speaking. 2 weeks ago. He kisses my temple. Soft as a prayer. Cruel as a brand. I have your search history sent to my phone in real time, Jaggy. I know you better than you know yourself. I should scream. Fight. Bite. But I'm so fucking tired of being shocked by the depths of his obsession. Let me go, I say instead. Please. Just let me go. No. Such a small word. Such absolute devastation. Do-yoon turns me around. And for the first time since I woke up as his wife 5 weeks ago, I see something crack in that perfect mask. Fear. Raw and human and terrifying. Because if he's scared, what chance do I have? I can't, he says, and his voice breaks on it. I tried, Imani. I unlocked the doors yesterday, transferred the money, sat in my office for 6 hours waiting for the elevator to take you away. His forehead drops to mine. But you didn't leave. You painted instead. For 14 hours straight, you painted us. My stomach lurches. The canvas. The massive piece I'd lost myself in. Trying not to think about the nausea, or the late period, or the trap closing around my throat. That wasn't us. I lie. That was a ghost groom and his living bride, bound at the wrists with red string. His thumb traces my jaw. You titled it Inevitable. I had it framed this morning. It's hanging in my office, where I can see it while I work. Jesus Christ. You're insane. I breathe. Yes. No hesitation. But you already knew that when you signed the contract. Hey, lovelies. If you want to listen to more amazing stories from my story diaries, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a story that'll leave gasping for more. Now let's get back to our story. And fuck me. But he's right. I did know. I just thought I was smarter than a dead man's obsession. Let me rewind. Let me tell you how a broke black artist from Chicago ended up pregnant and imprisoned by a Korean ghost who turned out to be very, very alive. 6 weeks ago, I was 48 hours from deportation. The eviction notice was bad enough 3 months behind on rent in a Seoul studio that cost more than my entire college dorm. But the visa expiration letter felt personal. Like Korea itself was spitting me back across the Pacific with a thanks but no thanks stamp on my dreams. I'd come here on an art fellowship 18 months ago. 18 months of painting, until my fingers bled. Learning Korean, until my tongue ached. Trying to make Seoul understand that black women could do hanji paper art too. That our stories could dissolve into mulberry fibers just as beautifully as anyone else's. Seoul disagreed. Politely. Persistently. Too ethnic, one gallery director said. not meeting my eyes. Our clientele prefers traditional subjects, said another. What they meant was, we don't see you. We won't sell you. Go home. I was packing my last box when my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Miss Park? A woman's voice. Older, cultured Korean with perfect English edges. My name is Mrs. Beck. I have a proposition that might interest you. 20 minutes later, I was on the subway to Bukchon, watching my reflection fragment in the train windows, thinking about my maxed credit cards and my mother's medical debt I'd inherited, and the painting I'd just sold for $70 to a tourist who probably used it as a placemat. Mrs. Beck's hanok was the kind of beautiful that makes you feel poor just looking at it. Traditional architecture, modern renovations, a garden that probably cost more than my life. She met me at the gate herself. 60-something, elegant in a grey hanbok, grief-worn like expensive jewellery. Thank you for coming, she said in English, gesturing me inside. I'll be direct. I need someone for a traditional ceremony. 1 day of your time. $100,000 USD. I laughed. Actually laughed. Ma'am, I think you have the wrong person. I'm an artist, not. I know exactly who you are, Miss Park. She led me to a sitting room where tea was already waiting. I've been following your work for 6 months. Invisible ink. Dissolution. The space between. She named my paintings like prayers. You understand ghosts. I need someone who understands ghosts. The tea was jasmine. Expensive. I held the cup to keep my hands from shaking. What kind of ceremony? A wedding. She pulled out a photograph. Young man, maybe 30, devastating cheekbones, eyes like winter. My son, Do-yoon. He died 3 years ago, unmarried. His spirit is restless. I set down my tea before I dropped it. You want me to marry a dead man? A mingon. Ghost marriage. Very traditional. Very legal, if performed correctly. She slid papers across the table. You would wear the hanbok, sign the documents, perform the ceremony, then walk away. 50,000 up front, 50,000 after. Why me? The question felt important. Why not a Korean woman? Someone from a matchmaking service. Mrs. Baek smiled, and it was the saddest thing I'd ever seen. Because Do-yoon would have loved your art. Because you're leaving anyway. And because I can tell you need this as much as I do. She wasn't wrong. I called Mi-sun from the bathroom. My best friend. A translator I'd met at a cafe. The only person in Seoul who'd bothered learning my drink order. It's legally binding if the ritual is done right, Mi-sun warned, her voice crackling over cheap connection. Like, actually married. On paper. To a corpse, Mi-sun. To a family fortune. Do you know who the Bakes are? Tech. Real estate. They own half of Gangnam. I looked at myself in the gilded mirror. 27. Broke. Brilliant. Invisible. My mother had died alone in a Cook County hospital. Because I couldn't afford better. I'd promised her grave I'd make it. That the art would matter. $100,000 could buy a lot of mattering. Where do I sign? I asked Mrs. Beck when I came back. She looked relieved. There will be documents. Legal formalities. Our family lawyer will walk you through everything. The lawyer appeared like he'd been summoned 50s. Sharp suit. Sharper eyes. He spread contracts across the table in Korean and English. So many pages. Clauses about family honor and traditional rights and legal designations that made my head spin. Just initial here, he kept saying. And here. Sign at the bottom. I should have read it all. Every word. But my Korean was tourist level, and my desperation was fluent. And when he said, standard ceremony agreements, I believed him. Stupid. So fucking stupid. The ceremony was 3 days later. They dressed me at dawn in a hanbok that cost more than a car red and gold silk, hand-embroidered with peonies and phoenixes. Traditional makeup painted my face into a mask. I looked like a doll. Expensive and breakable. Do-yoon's portrait waited in the ancestral hall. Professional photo. Him in a charcoal suit. That same winter eye stare. Handsome enough to hurt. Dead enough to be safe. Or so I thought. The ritual was beautiful in a devastating way. Incense and candles and chanting I didn't understand. I bowed to his portrait. Offered rice wine to his name tablet. Recited vows in broken Korean that Mrs. Baek had made me memorize. I accept this bond. I honor this union. I will carry your name. When I placed the jade ring on his portrait's hand, the hall went silent. 30 family members watching, judging. The servants wouldn't meet my eyes. I should have known then. Should have felt it. But all I felt was relief when Mrs. Beck handed me the final check. "You've given our family peace," she said, crying beautifully. "You're free to go." I bowed. Left. Went home and stared at 6 figures in my bank account until they felt real. "You did it," Misan screamed when I called her. "Oh my God, you actually married a ghost for money. You're my hero." We went out that night. Hongdae clubs, soju bombs, dancing until my feet bled in borrowed heels. I was free, rich, untouchable, for 48 hours. Then, my bank account froze. I was at a real estate office, looking at actual apartments with windows and heat, when my phone started having a seizure. Notifications. Hundreds. My bank app flashing red. Account under legal review. Contact administrator immediately. "There's been a mistake," I told the banker in panicked English, Korean. "I just deposited." "Mrs. Beck." The banker's tone changed. Respectful. "Careful. There's no mistake. Your accounts have been consolidated under your marital status. You'll need your husband's authorization for any withdrawals over 10,000 won. My husband. My dead husband. That's not. He's not." The banker showed me the screen. Joint account. My name and *** Beck Do-yoon. *** married. Legal. I ran outside and vomited in a trash can. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered with shaking hands. "Mrs. Beck." Male voice this time. Professional. Cold. "A car is waiting for you. Your husband would like to see you." "My husband is dead," I said flatly. "That's not what our records show. Black Mercedes. Corner of Gangnam-dero and Yeoksam. Don't make us come find you." The line went dead. I looked up. Black Mercedes. Tinted windows. Idling at the curb. Waiting. I ran. Sprinted 3 blocks in heels. Lungs screaming. Until I couldn't anymore. Ducked into a cafe. Called Misun. With fingers that wouldn't work right. "They say he's alive," I gasped. Yoon. "They say he wants to see me." "Imani, that's impossible. I was at the funeral. Fake. It was all fake. The ceremony, the death, everything." Silence. Then, "Where are you?" I told her. She said she'd come. 20 minutes. The Mercedes found me in 15. 2 men in suits, polite smiles. Hands that didn't touch me but blocked every exit. "Mrs. Beck. Please. The car is more comfortable than a cafe. I'm not going anywhere until you tell me what's happening. Your husband will explain everything. He's waiting." Something in how he said waiting made my skin crawl. Like Do-yoon had been waiting a long time. For something specific. For me? I got in the car. They drove me to a building in Gangnam that was all glass and steel and money. Penthouse access required a keycard they had ready. The elevator rose so fast my ears popped. 38th floor. Doors opened to a private entrance. One of the suits knocked. 2 short raps. "Komeini mani." That voice. I'd never heard it before, but I knew it instantly. Smooth. Educated. Dark like good whiskey. The door opened. Baek Do-yoon stood in the entryway of the most beautiful apartment I'd ever seen. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Seoul. Art on every wall. Furniture that whispered money. And him. Alive. So fucking alive it hurt to look at. Tall. Leaner than his photo. Dressed in black slacks and a white shirt, with sleeves rolled to his elbows. Those winter eyes fixed on me, with an intensity that made my knees weak. "Hello, wife," he said in perfect English. "We have a lot to discuss." I couldn't speak. Couldn't move. Just stared. He dismissed the suits with a gesture. They left. The door clicked shut. Locked. We were alone. "What the fuck?" I finally managed. "I know you have questions." He moved into the living room, gestured to a cream sofa. "Please, sit." "I'm not sitting." "I'm not. You're supposed to be dead." "I was. Legally. For 3 years." He poured 2 glasses of whiskey from a crystal decanter. Offered me one. I faked my death to escape my family's control. Built a new life. New empire. All of it invisible. Until I needed a wife. So, you tricked some desperate black girl into a fake ghost wedding? No. He set down both glasses. Moved closer. I chose you very carefully, Imani. I've been watching you for 8 months. Your art. Your struggle. Your brilliance that Seoul refused to see. He pulled out his phone. Swiped. Showed me photos. Of me. At cafes. Galleries. My apartment. Walking to the subway. Painting in my studio. At 3 a.m. Hundreds of photos. You're a fucking stalker, I whispered. Yes. No shame. I became obsessed with your work first. Then with you. I bought every painting you made through intermediaries, followed your shows, learned your routine. He opened a door I hadn't noticed. Come see. I should have run. Should have screamed. But morbid curiosity pulled me forward. The room was a private gallery. My paintings covered the walls. Every piece I'd sold in 18 months. Invisible ink. Dissolution. The space between. Even small sketches I'd sold for cigarette money. All here. In his home. You were mine before the ceremony. Do. Yoon said softly behind me. I just made it legal. I spun on him. The contracts. The signatures. What did I actually sign? Everything. He pulled papers from a desk drawer. Power of attorney. Joint assets. Spousal rights. Legal name change. Immigration sponsorship. Page after page. My signature on all of them. You're not Imani Park anymore. You're Imani Beck. My wife. Permanently. The room swayed. I'll annul it. I'll go to the embassy. And say what? That you married a dead man for money, and now want out because he's inconveniently alive? Do-yoon's smile was sharp. The contracts are legal. The marriage is traditional and state. Recognized. You're bound to me in every way that matters. You can't keep me here. I'm not keeping you. He handed me a tablet. These are our properties. Jeju. New York. Paris. Tokyo. All accessible to you. Your passport is updated. Credit cards issued. You have a driver. Security team. Full access to everything. I stared at addresses worth millions. The only requirement, he continued, is that you remain my wife. Publicly. Legally. Actually. Why? The question ripped out of me. Why go through all this? You could have any woman. I don't want any woman. He cupped my face, and I was too shocked to pull back. I want the artist who paints herself disappearing, because she thinks no one sees her. I want the woman who came to a foreign country alone, and refused to quit, even when it destroyed her. His thumb traced my cheekbone. I want you, Imani. I've wanted you since the moment I saw you stand in front of your painting and cry. Because you thought you'd failed. I had cried. At my last gallery opening. In the bathroom when no one bought anything. How did he know that? You're insane. I breathed. Probably. He smiled, and it was beautiful and terrible. But I'm your husband now, and you're not going anywhere. He was right. I tried for 3 weeks. Tested every door, every window, every guard. They were polite, professional, immovable. Mrs. Beck, let us escort you. Mrs. Beck, it's not safe alone. Mrs. Beck, your husband is waiting. My husband, Do-yoon, didn't lock me in a room. He didn't have to. He built me the most beautiful cage in Seoul and waited for me to realize I was trapped. The penthouse had everything. A studio with north-facing light and supplies I'd dreamed about. A library with first editions and art books in 6 languages. A kitchen stocked with my favorite foods that I'd never told anyone I liked. Because he knew. He'd studied me, like other men studied stock portfolios. Paint, he'd say, leaving for work in bespoke suits. Create. You have infinite resources now. And God help me, I did paint. What else was there to do? I painted rage. Painted trap. Painted a man who looked like Do-yoon dissolving into smoke, while a woman who looked like me reached for him with bloody hands. He hung every piece in his office. Beautiful, he'd say over dinner, elaborate meals he had chefs prepare with my mother's recipes. Paint me more. I hate you, I'd reply. I know. I can taste it in your work. It's exquisite. We'd eat in silence. Then he'd kiss my hand and leave me alone. Never pushed, never forced. Just existed in my space, like he belonged there. Which legally, he did. Mi-sun tried to visit. Security turned her away. She called. Do-yoon answered my phone. Tell her I'm fine, I said dully. She's adjusting. Do-yoon added, all politeness. The transition has been difficult. Transition to what? Mi-sun shouted loud enough for me to hear. Imani, blink twice if he's holding you hostage. I looked at Do-yoon. He looked back, waiting. I'm fine, I repeated. I just need time. Mi-sun hung up. Didn't call again. Do-yoon slid my phone across the table. I won't monitor your calls if you promise not to contact the embassy. Why would I promise that? Because I'll make it worth your while. He opened a folder. Inside, a contract for a gallery show. Major gallery. 6-month exhibition. My name in English and Korean. How did you... I own the gallery. Well, a shell company I control owns the gallery. They've agreed to feature your work exclusively. Invisible Ink. The Imani Beck collection. He smiled. You wanted Seoul to see you. Now they will. I should have thrown it in his face. Should have screamed that I didn't want his blood money success. But I'd been invisible for so long. What's the catch? I asked. Attend with me. As my wife. Let them see us together. You want me to play happy hostage? I want you to play successful artist. With a devoted husband. Who believes in her work. His eyes were steady. Is that so terrible? It should have been. But the contract was real. The opportunity was real. And I was so tired of disappearing. Fine, I said. One show. Then we renegotiate. Of course. He signed his name below mine. Whatever my wife wants. That night, I painted him for the first time. Really painted him. Not as a monster or a ghost, but as he actually was. Beautiful and broken and obsessed beyond reason. I titled it Inevitable, because somewhere between the cage and the canvas, I'd realized something terrifying. I didn't want to leave anymore. The nausea started a week before the gallery opening. I blamed stress, the pressure of preparing 30 pieces for exhibition. The interviews Do-yoon had arranged with art journalists. The fittings for the custom dress he'd commissioned black silk with red embroidery. Traditional and modern. Like me. But when Mi-sun somehow got a message through a note, slipped to me by a sympathetic guard I knew. Count the days, her note said. When did you last bleed? I counted. 8 weeks. Maybe 9. Impossible. Do-yoon and I had never slept in separate rooms. He'd never touched me beyond chaste kisses to my hand. My forehead. He'd been obsessive but not physical. Except the ceremony. The tea I'd drunk. Bitter and herbal. For fertility and blessing, Mrs. Bake had said. And the night after, when I'd slept, 14 hours straight, deeper than sleep, unconscious. No. I bought a test from the penthouse pharmacy because of course Do-yoon had a private pharmacy. Took it in the bathroom with shaking hands. 2 pink lines. I was still staring at them when Do-yoon came home early. Found me on the bathroom floor. Test between my knees. Trying to remember how to breathe. Imani. He knelt beside me, all concern. Touched my face. What's wrong? I showed him the test. His expression transformed. Shock. Joy. Possessive. Territorial satisfaction that made my skin crawl. How far? He asked. 8 weeks. Maybe 9. I watched his face. When was the ceremony? 9 weeks ago. We never fucked, Do-yoon. No, he agreed. We didn't. Understanding crashed over me like ice water. The tea. You drugged me. Sedated you. There's a difference. And then what? What did you do to me while I was unconscious? He had the grace to look almost ashamed. Almost. Artificial insemination. Clinical. Professional. The fertility herbs ensured implantation. I couldn't speak. Couldn't scream. Just stared at this man, who'd violated me in the most intimate way possible, without ever touching me. You planned this, I whispered. From the beginning. Yes. No hesitation. No apology. I needed you bound to me permanently. The marriage could be annulled. The contracts challenged. But a child. His hand moved to my still flat stomach. A child is forever. I slapped him. Hard. Split his lip. He didn't flinch. Just smiled with blood on his teeth. There she is. My wife with fire. I'll abort it. The smile vanished. No. Watch me. Imani. You don't get to choose. You don't get to rape me and then... I didn't rape you. His voice was steel. I inseminated you with my genetic material in a medical procedure while you were sedated for a religious ceremony you consented to. That's the same fucking thing. Legally, it's not. He pulled out more papers. Always more fucking papers. The ceremony contracts included provisions for traditional conception assistance. You signed consent for fertility treatments if natural methods failed. I grabbed the papers. Read them with fresh, horrified eyes. Buried in page 47. In dense legal Korean. The bride consents to traditional and modern fertility assistance as deemed necessary for the continuation of the family line. You bastard! I breathed. Yes. He cleaned his split lip with his thumb. But I'm your bastard, and you're carrying my child. I ran, made it to the elevator before security stopped me. Gentle hands, professional voices. Mrs. Beck, please, let's go back inside. I fought them. Actually fought. Screamed and clawed and kicked until Do-yoon appeared. Dismissed them with a gesture. Let me go. I sobbed. Please. I'm begging you. I can't. He pulled me against his chest, and I was too tired to resist. I've tried, Imani. I've tried to let you go. I unlocked the doors yesterday, transferred $10 million to a private account in your name, waited for you to run. Then why didn't I know that? Because you were painting. For 14 hours straight. You painted us. The ghost and the bride, bound at the wrists. You titled it, Inevitable. His voice cracked. Don't you understand? You're as trapped in this as I am. I pulled back, looked at him, really looked. He was thinner than when I'd arrived, shadows under his eyes, sleeves hiding what looked like marks. Had he been hurting himself? Why me? I asked again. Really, why me? Come with me. He led me to his office, the room I wasn't allowed in, unlocked it with a fingerprint I'd never seen him use. Inside was a shrine to me, not just my paintings, my entire life. Photos of my mother. Articles about her death, my college transcripts, medical debt statements, every rejection letter, from every gallery, and in the center, a file labeled, Angela Park, Angela Davis. Your mother worked for my family. Yoon said quietly. 1,995. She was an exchange student, translator, for Beck Enterprises. The room spun. That's not my mother, never. She took the money, Imani. Raised you alone in Chicago on blood money from a lie. He showed me bank statements. Transfers from Beck Enterprises to Angela Davis. Dates matching my birth. No, I whispered. I found these files 3 years ago when I was preparing to fake my death. I found you. He touched my face. My half-sister. Or so I thought. I couldn't breathe. We're related. No. He pulled out DNA results. His. Mine. I tested us both. Your mother lied about who your father was. Jin-woo paid her to create a scandal. Ruin a business rival who was the actual father. She took the money and ran. How do you know? Because I spent 2 years investigating. Found your real father dead now. Died in 2003. No family. No inheritance. Just a patsy in a corporate war. Yoon's voice was gentle. Terrible. Your mother sold you before you were born, Imani. Made you a ghost to protect herself. I hit him again. And again. He let me. Took every blow until I collapsed against his chest, sobbing. I fell in love with your art before I knew any of this. He whispered into my hair. I fell in love with how you painted yourself disappearing. Because I understood. I'd made myself disappear too. His arms tightened. We're the same, you and I. Ghosts made by our parents' choices. And I needed to make you real again. So you trapped me, I said against his shirt. Made me dependent. Got me pregnant. Yes. You're a monster. Yes. He kissed the top of my head. But you married me anyway. And God help me, I had. Which brings us back to now. The bathroom. The pregnancy test. His confession about switching the drugged wine. I can't keep it, I say. But my hand is already on my stomach. Protective. Do-yoon notices. Of course he does. You don't mean that. I don't know what I mean anymore. He turns me back to the mirror. We look at our reflections, him perfect and pressed, me wrecked and raging. I'm going to tell you something, he says. And then I'm going to give you a choice. What choice? You've taken everything. Not everything. He steps back. I'm leaving. Business trip to Tokyo. 3 days. The penthouse will be unlocked. No guards. No security. Your passport and money are in the bedroom. Safe code is your mother's birthday. I stare at him. What's the catch? No catch. He pulls on his suit jacket. If you're here when I come back, we continue as we are. If you're gone, his jaw tightens. Then I'll know I finally broke. The one thing I wanted to keep whole. And the baby. Your choice. I'll support whatever you decide, even if it destroys me. He walks to the door. Stops. Doesn't turn around. For what it's worth, he says quietly, I do love you. Obsessively. Dangerously. In ways that probably require therapy. But it's still love. Then he's gone. I stand in the bathroom for an hour. Then I go to the bedroom safe. He's right, it opens with my mother's birthday. Inside, my passport, credit cards in my name, a bank statement showing $10 million, and a letter. Imani, your mother kept journals. I found them in storage when I was tracking your history. Most are mundane. But she wrote about you. About how much she loved you. Even though your conception was a lie. She wrote, I took blood money to keep my daughter. I'd do it again. Imani deserves a life I can give her. Not a life caught in their war. She chose you. Over truth. Over honor. Over everything. I'm choosing you too. Differently. Darker. But it's still a choice. If you leave, I'll understand. If you stay, I'll spend my life proving you didn't make a mistake. Your ghost husband. Do Yoon. I read it 17 times. Then, I go to the studio. The painting is there. Inevitable. The ghost groom and living bride, bound in red string, dissolving into each other. I'd painted it in a fugue state, not knowing what it meant. Now I do. I pick up a brush, start a new canvas. 3 days later, Do Yoon comes home to find me still there. Still painting. The apartment filled with new work, raw and violent and beautiful. Self-portraits of transformation. A woman becoming a ghost becoming real. He stands in the doorway of the studio, still in his travel clothes, just watching. I have conditions, I say without looking up. Name them. 50% ownership of your empire. My own lawyer, who actually explains contracts. Separate bedrooms until I decide otherwise. Full transparency. No more secrets. No more surveillance. Done. I'm keeping the baby. But not for you. For me. Because my mother chose me. And I'm choosing this. His voice is rough. Understood. And if you ever drug me again, if you ever violate my consent in any way, I'll burn everything you've built to the ground and salt the earth. Faire. I finally look at him. He's thinner. Those shadows under his eyes are worse. He looks like he hasn't slept in 3 days. Why didn't you lock the doors? I ask. Really? Because I needed to know if you'd stay by choice. Even once. He moves closer. Did you? I should say no. Should tell him I stayed because I'm pregnant and trapped. And Stockholm Syndrome is real. But I'm so fucking tired of lying. I stayed because you're right. I admit. We're the same. Ghosts trying to be real. And maybe, I touch my stomach. Maybe we can build something that isn't about what our parents did to us. Something new, he agrees. Something ours. Do-Yoon kneels in front of me. Takes my paint-stained hands. Then marry me again. Really this time. With vows, we both choose. We're already married. To a ghost. And a liar. I want to marry the woman who paints rage. Who carries my child and threatens to burn my empire. Who stayed when she could have run. His eyes are wet. Marry me, Imani. Please. I pull him up. Kiss him for the first time. He tastes like desperation and hope. And something that might be love if we don't destroy it first. Okay, I whisper against his mouth. But I'm writing the vows. Whatever you want, wife. 6 months later, the gallery opening is packed. Seoul's art elite. International collectors. Journalists with cameras. My work on every wall. Invisible ink. The Angela and Imani collection. 30 pieces about mothers and daughters and the ghosts we inherit. I'm 7 months pregnant. Radiant in red silk. Do Yoon's hand protective on my lower back. We've become Seoul's favorite mystery, the reclusive tech magnate, and his black American artist wife, who appeared from nowhere. Mrs. Beck, a reporter asks in English, how did you and your husband meet? I smile at Do Yoon. He squeezes my hand 3 times, our code for, your choice. He was dead, I say simply. I brought him back to life, and he returned the favor. The reporter laughs nervously, unsure if I'm joking. I don't clarify. Do Yoon leans in, whispers against my ear. You're terrifying. I love it. Good. I turn to study my favorite piece, the centerpiece of the exhibition. Life-sized, mixed media. A black woman in a red hanbok, belly swollen with pregnancy, dissolving into hanji paper, while a Korean man in a suit solidifies from smoke behind her. Their hands are bound with red string, but this time the string is fraying, breaking, or maybe braiding stronger. I titled it, Inheritance. Tell me about this one, a curator asks, joining us with champagne I can't drink. The imagery is so visceral, violent and tender at once. It's about what we inherit, I explain. My mother's choices, his family's corruption, the ghosts that make us. I touch my belly where our daughter is kicking, and what we choose to pass on instead. Or not pass on. Do, Yoon adds quietly. The curator doesn't understand. That's fine. This piece isn't for her. It's for the daughter I'm going to raise differently. No lies about her father. No blood money hidden in college funds. No ghosting herself to survive. She'll know exactly who her parents are, what they did, how they're trying to be better, even if better is still pretty fucked up. Excuse me. A woman approaches, older, elegant, familiar. My heart stops. Mrs. Beck, Do-Yoon's mother, the woman who orchestrated my ghost wedding. Mother. Do, Yoon says coolly. I didn't know you were coming. I wouldn't miss my daughter-in-law's triumph. She smiles at me, and it's genuine this time. Imani, the work is extraordinary. Thank you for your part in creating it, I say, unable to help the edge. She deserves it. Knows it. I owed you an apology. For the deception. For using your desperation. You paid me $100,000 to trap myself. I'd say we're even. No. She touches my hand. We're not. But, perhaps, she glances at my belly. Perhaps we can start over. For her sake. Do-Yoon's hand tightens on my waist. Protective. Mother. It's fine, I interrupt. Because it is. Or it will be. We're all complicit in this family's dysfunction. Might as well admit it. Mrs. Bake actually laughs. You're good for him. He needs someone who doesn't fear his darkness. I don't fear it. I paint it. I gesture to the walls. Then I hang it in galleries and charge rich people obscene amounts to own it. Capitalism as therapy. Do, Yoon murmurs. My wife is brilliant. Your wife is tired and her feet hurt. I shift weight. And your daughter is using my bladder as a trampoline. Come. He immediately steers me toward the private room. You need to rest. I need to finish the opening. The art speaks for itself. You've done enough. He's right. But I'm stubborn. 5 more minutes. There's someone I want to see. Mi-sun is near the entrance, staring at a painting of her. I'd done it from memory, her laugh, her loyalty, the way she'd tried to save me even when I didn't want saving. You came, I say, approaching slowly. She turns. We haven't spoken properly since Do-Yoon answered my phone 6 months ago. She'd tried. I'd been too ashamed to respond. I came, she confirms. Studies me pregnant, glowing, my husband's hand possessive on my hip. Are you okay? Really? I don't know. I admit. Ask me in a year. He's still controlling you. Yes. And I'm controlling him back now. It's fucked up and probably unhealthy, and our therapist has job security for life. I touch her arm. But I'm okay, Mi-Sunday. I promise. Did he really? She glances at Do-Yoon, who's giving us space but watching. Everything you told me. The insemination, the surveillance. Yes. And you stayed. I stayed. I meet her eyes. Not because I'm weak, Not because I'm broken, but because leaving would have been easier, and I'm tired of taking the easy road. Mi-sun shakes her head. I don't understand. I know. I'm not sure I do either. I gesture to the painting of her. But I wanted you to know you tried to save me. That mattered. It still matters. Even if I chose to save myself differently than you'd hoped. She's quiet for a long moment. Then, is the baby healthy? Perfect. Due in March. And you're happy? Am I? I look at Do-yoon across the room, deep in conversation with the collector. He feels my gaze, meets it, mouths. Okay? I nod. Turn back to me Sunday. I'm something. Happy doesn't quite cover it, but it's mine. This life, this mess, this beautiful, terrible, complicated thing we're building. Then I'm happy for you. She doesn't sound convinced, but she's trying. Or whatever the appropriate emotion is for. My friend married her stalker and is making it work. I laugh. Actually laugh. There's probably a German word for it. Probably. She hugs me carefully, avoiding my belly. Call me sometime? I miss you. I miss you too. She leaves. I watch her go, feeling the weight of that friendship, shifting. Not ending, just changing shape. Like everything else in my life. Do-yoon appears at my elbow. Ready? Almost. I have one more thing to do. I find the reporter who asked about our meeting. She's studying inheritance, making notes. Can I give you a quote? I ask. For your article. She fumbles for her recorder. Of course, Mrs. Beck. Mrs. Bake. I still flinch at it sometimes, but less than before. People will want to know our love story, I say. How we met. How we fell in love. The romantic version. Yes? She leans in, eager. Tell them the truth. I gesture to the paintings around us. That love isn't always gentle. That sometimes it's obsession. Possession. Two damaged people building something from their wreckage. I touch my belly. Tell them I married a ghost and he became real. Tell them he trapped me and I chose to stay. Tell them it's fucked up and beautiful and I'm not sorry. The reporter stares. That's very honest. It's the only way I know how to be anymore. I smile. My husband taught me that. Among other things. Do-yoon appears, slips his arm around my waist. Are you giving interviews that will make our daughter ask complicated questions? She's going to ask complicated questions anyway. Better she knows her parents tell the truth. Even when the truth is uncomfortable? Especially then. He kisses my temple. This is why I chose you. You chose me because you're obsessed. That too. The reporter is writing frantically. I let the world know. We're past hiding. Come on. Do. Yoon says softly. You need rest. Our daughter needs rest. Our daughter needs her mother to finish what she started. Your mother would be proud, he says. Of the work. Of you. The mention of my mother still stings. Probably always will. You think? She kept journals full of pride. Even in her worst moments, she was proud of you. He'd given me those journals 3 months ago. Reading them had been devastating and healing in equal measure. She'd love knowing you're successful. Free. Even if the path was unconventional. Unconventional. I snort. That's one word for. I married my stalker who impregnated me without consent. We really should workshop a better elevator pitch. He agrees, deadpan. I laugh despite myself. You're terrible. Yes, but I'm yours. And that's the thing, isn't it? He is mine. Obsessively. Completely. In ways that should terrify me, but instead feel like inevitability. Maybe that makes me damaged. Maybe it makes me strong. Maybe it just makes me human. We leave the gallery to flashing cameras and shouted questions. Do-yoon's security team creates a path to the car. A different Mercedes. One I picked out myself. Baby blue. Impractical. Mine. Home? He asks as we settle into the back seat. Home. I agree. The penthouse isn't a cage anymore. We'd renegotiated everything after I stayed. 50% ownership of his companies. Real ownership. With lawyers who explain everything in English. My own security team. Loyal to me. Access to all accounts. Keys to all properties. And separate bedrooms. Like I'd demanded. Though I've been sleeping in his room for the past month. My choice. My timing. He'd waited. Patient as a ghost. What are you thinking? He asks as Seoul blurs past the windows. That 6 months ago, I wanted to kill you. And now, I take his hand, place it on my belly where our daughter is kicking. Now I'm thinking about names, and nursery colours, and whether our daughter will inherit your obsessive tendencies, or my self-destructive ones. Probably both. He splays his fingers wide, feeling her move. She'll be extraordinary and terrifying. Like her parents. Like her mother, especially. The car pulls into our building's private garage. We ride the elevator up in comfortable silence. Comfortable. When did that happen? Inside the penthouse. Do-yoon immediately goes to adjust the temperature. I've been cold lately. Brings me the pregnancy pillow. Kneels to remove my heels. I can do that. I protest. I know. Let me anyway. I let him. Watch him carefully unbuckle each strap. Massage my swollen feet with gentle pressure. This man who violated my consent, who also learned my favorite tea, and reads parenting books, and installed a hospital-grade air purifier because I mentioned being worried about pollution. Contradictions. We're made of them. Do you regret it? I ask quietly. The extremes you went to? He looks up from my feet. Yes and no. Explain. I regret hurting you. Violating you. The insemination, especially if I could undo that choice. I would. His hands still on my ankles. But I don't regret the obsession. The surveillance. The trap. Because they brought you here. And I'm selfish enough to want you here more than I want to be a good person. Honest. Brutal. True. What about you? He asks. Do you regret staying? I consider it. Really consider. Sometimes. When I wake up at 3 a.m. and remember that normal love doesn't start with ghost weddings and coerced pregnancy. I touch his face. But then I think about leaving. And it feels wrong. Like walking away from a canvas half finished. That's not love. That's artistic compulsion. With us, is there a difference? He smiles. Stands. Pulls me up carefully. Come see what I made you. If it's another art studio, I'm running out of walls. Not an art studio. He leads me to the spare room we'd been using for storage. Opens the door. It's a nursery. Fully finished. Walls painted soft yellow with hand-drawn murals. Korean folk art mixed with African patterns. A crib that looks antique, beautiful. Shelves already filled with books in English and Korean. A rocking chair positioned near the window overlooking Seoul. And on the main wall, a framed piece. My mother's journal entry about choosing me. Surrounded by photos her pregnant with me. Me as a baby. Us together before she got sick. When did you... My voice breaks. I've been working on it for 3 months. The murals took the longest I wanted to get the patterns right. Your mother's journals mentioned her grandmother's quilts. So I researched the designs. He's nervous. Actually nervous. If you hate it, we can change everything. I just wanted... I kiss him. Deep. Grateful. Complicated. It's perfect. I whisper against his mouth. You're insane, but it's perfect. I want her to know both sides. He says. Your heritage. Mine. The whole complicated truth. No ghosts. No ghosts, he agrees. Just us. That night, I sleep in his room again. Not separate bedrooms anymore. Not yet making love. I'm not ready. Might never be ready for that level of vulnerability with him. But we sleep tangled together, his hand on my belly, my head on his chest. Do-yoon? I say into the darkness. Mem? I'm still angry at you. For all of it. I know. And I'm going to be angry for a long time. Maybe always. I understand. But I'm also grateful. Which makes me angrier. His chest rumbles with quiet laughter. The duality of Imani. Shut up. But I'm smiling. I'm trying to have a moment. Sorry. Continue. I prop myself up to look at him. Even in darkness, I can see his face, those winter eyes that watched me for months before I knew he existed. Thank you, I say, for the nursery, for respecting my boundaries, even when they're inconsistent, for being patient with my rage. Thank you for staying, for trying, for not burning my empire down. He tucks my braids behind my ear. Yet, the night's still young. We fall asleep like that. Broken people building something that might be love or might be beautiful dysfunction. Probably both. 3 months later. Labor is hell. I'm going to kill you. I pant through another contraction. Slowly. Painfully. Do-yoon wipes my forehead with a cool cloth. Understandable. This is your fault. Technically, don't. I grip his hand hard enough to break bones. Don't you dare say technically right now. Breathing, Jaggy. Remember the classes. Fuck the classes. Fuck you. Fuck this entire... The contraction peaks and I scream. 23 hours of labor later, our daughter arrives. Screaming. Perfect. Impossibly tiny. The nurse places her on my chest. She's got Do-yoon's dark hair and my brown skin and eyes that haven't decided their color yet. She's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Hi, I whisper, tears streaming. Hi, baby. I'm your mum. I'm going to mess this up sometimes, but I promise to tell you the truth. Do-yoon is crying too, trying to hide it and failing. She's perfect. She's ours. We'd chosen her name weeks ago, after much debate, many arguments, finally agreeing on something that honored both sides, without being haunted by either. Angela Sue. Jin Beck. I say, testing it. After my mother. And your grandmother who actually loved you. It's perfect. Yoon says. Then, thank you. For what? For this. For her. For giving me something real to obsess over instead of just you. I laugh, exhausted. You're still obsessed with me, obviously. But now I have 2 impossible women to worship. Angela fusses. The nurse shows me how to feed her. Do-yoon watches with that intense focus he applies to everything. Learning. Memorizing. You're going to be an insane father, I tell him. Yes. But a present one. Better than his father. Better than my mother's choices. Not perfect. But trying. That's all we can promise her. That we'll try. The next few weeks are chaos. Sleepless nights. Learning to breastfeed. Do-yoon. Installing 17 cameras in the nursery. Until I make him take down 9. Mi-sun visiting with gifts and cautious optimism. Mrs. Bake bringing traditional seaweed soup and actual apologies. We're building a family from wreckage. It's messy. Unconventional. Hours. One night. 3 weeks postpartum. I'm in the nursery at 2 a.m. Angela is finally asleep after an hour of crying. I'm exhausted. Bleeding. My body isn't my own anymore. Dune appears in the doorway. You should sleep. Can't. I keep thinking she'll stop breathing. The monitor will alert us. I know, but I need to see her. I touch Angela's tiny hand. She's so small, so dependent. It's terrifying. He joins me at the crib. We stand together, watching our daughter sleep. I'm scared I'll damage her, I admit. The way my mother damaged me. The way your family damaged you. You will, he says honestly. And I will. It's inevitable. That's not comforting. It's true. We're both disasters, Imani. We're going to fuck up. He takes my hand. But we're aware disasters. That has to count for something. Does it? Ask me, in 18 years. I lean against him, too tired to hold myself up. Do you ever wish you'd chosen differently? A normal woman. A normal life. Never. No hesitation. You're my obsession. My wife. My choice. Even on the hardest days. Even when I threatened to burn your empire. Especially then. Angela makes a small sound. We both freeze. She settles back into sleep. I love you, I say quietly. First time I've said it. First time I've meant it. Do-yoon goes very still. What? I love you. It's fucked up, and complicated, and probably unhealthy, but it's real. I look up at him. You're a monster, who built me a golden cage, and I'm a woman who chose to sing in it. And somehow that's our love story. He kisses me. Gentle. Reverent. I love you too. Obsessively. Possessively. In ways that definitely require therapy. We're already in therapy. We'll need more. We laugh, quietly. Not to wake the baby. This is it. This is our happily ever after. Not traditional. Not clean. Not even particularly healthy. But it's ours. Built from ghost marriages, and surveillance and violations that became choices. From rage that became partnership. From obsession that became something like love. Our daughter will grow up knowing the truth. That her parents' love story started with darkness. That her mother was trapped and chose to stay. That her father was a monster trying to be better. She'll judge us, question us, maybe hate us sometimes, but she'll know we told her the truth. 1 year later, I'm at a gallery in New York. Angelo's with Do Yoon in Seoul. I'd been anxious about leaving her, but he'd insisted. You need this, he'd said. Your art, your independence. Go. We'll FaceTime every 4 hours. He's called 6 times already. I've answered every time, watching him navigate diaper changes and bottle feeding, with the same intensity he applies to hostile takeovers. My new collection is called The Ghost Bride Speaks. Every piece from the past year, the pregnancy, the birth, the terror and joy of motherhood, the daily choice to stay with a man who trapped me. The critics are calling it unflinchingly honest and uncomfortably intimate. Perfect. My phone buzzes. Another FaceTime. Do-yoon's face fills the screen, Angela visible over his shoulder. She smiled, he says, showing me. Look, a real smile. Not gas. I lean closer to the screen. Hi, baby girl. Are you smiling for daddy? Angela gurgles. Do-yoon melts. How's the opening? He asks. Successful. Probably. I've been hiding in the bathroom for 20 minutes. That's my wife. Your wife is terrified of success. Your wife is terrified of being seen. There's a difference. His voice softens. But you're doing it anyway. I'm proud of you. Those words, from him, still hit different. I miss you. I admit. We miss you too. Come home soon. 2 more days. I'm counting. He adjusts Angela on his shoulder. She wants to know when you're painting her. I paint her every day. She wants a formal portrait. Very demanding, our daughter. I laugh. Wonder where she gets that. We talk for 20 more minutes. He shows me Angela's new expressions. I show him the gallery. We exist in 2 places at once, connected by technology and choice. When we hang up, I look at myself in the bathroom mirror. 28 now. Mother, wife, artist, survivor. I look different than I did a year ago. Stronger, maybe. Or just more comfortable with my contradictions. I think about the woman who sat in that freezing Seoul studio, eviction notice in hand, desperate enough to marry a ghost. I think about how she became me, the woman who married a ghost and made him real, who was trapped and chose to stay, who built something beautiful from something dark. I fix my lipstick, walk back into the gallery, stand in front of my favorite new piece, a self-portrait. Me holding Angela, both of us dissolving into hanji paper, but this time, we're reforming on the other side. Solid. Real. Together. I titled it Chosen, because that's what this is. Every day, a choice. To stay. To love. To build. To try. It's not the love story I imagined. It's better, and worse, and infinitely more complicated. But it's mine. So, if you're listening to this, and you've made it this far, you know the truth now. I married a ghost for money. He turned out to be a living man with an obsession. He trapped me, violated me, built me a cage of gold and art and complicated love. And I stayed. Not because I'm weak, not because I'm broken, but because leaving would have been easier. And I'm done taking the easy road. My name is Amani Beck. I'm an artist, a mother, a wife to a beautiful monster. This is my ghost story, and it's still being written. If you want to hear more about how we navigate raising Angela, about the family secrets still unraveling, about whether love built on obsession can actually last, subscribe to Black-Seoul Diaries. Like this video if you appreciate dark romance that doesn't apologize for its darkness. Comment and tell me, would you have stayed or run? Because here's what I've learned. We're all haunted by something. The question isn't whether we're trapped. It's whether we choose our ghosts, or they choose us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for not judging. Or judge away, I'm past caring. This is Amani, signing off from New York, going home to Seoul, to my ghost, to my life, to my choice.